Welcome back, everybody, for the quick break. Appreciate you standing by. Nicole O Malley is here. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hands in Harmony in Charlestown, Rhode Island is the All Charlestown, Rhode Island Day. Talk a little bit about your organization.
So Hands in Harmony offers music therapy services across Rhode Island. Our home base is in Kingston at URI, at URI's campus, but we travel to our clients. So we go all around the state and we cover part of Massachusetts.
And what is it? What
What is music therapy?
Yeah, what is it for
It's
me?
a good place to start.
Yeah, I need so much therapy. I'm looking for new genres. So,
music therapy is using music, but to accomplish non-music goals.
Okay.
So it's a very research-based field, which I think is a common misconception. People hear music therapy and they think, "Ooh, I like to listen to the following songs."
Right.
There's set interventions and things that we do based on a person that we're working with non-music area of need. So we might work on speech and language or cognitive skills, sensory motor like walking, movement stuff, social, emotional, all of those kind of non-music categories with a lot of different people ranging from NICU and like prenatal, so babies, all the way to hospice with every population in between. It's very diverse.
And are you working with schools, public, private? Walk through that process.
Yeah, so we have really prided ourselves in having a diverse caseload. We work with early intervention. We have partners in early intervention. We work with Seven Hills there. We have a number of school districts that we work with. We work with medical facilities like Hasbro Children's Hospital. We do.
So stop there. Talk about Hasbro. How are you working with Hasbro? Who are you working with in that environment?
Right now, there are a couple of different. We do some songwriting on their behavioral health unit. So we work with individuals who've been admitted. Children who've been individual.
What age?
At all of the ages. Most of the children on their sixth floor, their behavioral health, are in the preteen to adolescent range, and they're there because they're either struggling with mental illness or, they're admitted for something along those lines. So we work with them and we do songwriting with them. We also do heartbeat recordings. So those are for end of life to help with either legacy or so you record an individual's heartbeat and then you're working with the family to put together music in an end-of-life situation.
So ACDC is not a major
Actually, it might be. It's all about music preference. So if the song that a family really gravitates towards is ACDC or Metallica, then we take it and we kind of loop that over.
Wouldn't the head banging further the decline of the health, though?
Not necessarily, no. It's really about the non-music goal we're trying to reach. So if ACDC is what really is preferred by a person, then there's a lot we can do with ACDC. You can even turn it into a lullaby.
How well does the community, I had some awareness of this, but how well does the community as a whole understand the genre of the intervention and all its applicability?
I think that's one of our biggest challenges here. Music therapy, I've been here for 16 years, so it's new-ish. That isn't as new as most people think that it is. But still, that's not super, grounded within the community as far as timeline goes. The field's been around since the 50s, but music therapy in Rhode Island has had a little bit of a trying time getting off of the ground. I'd say in the past 3-4 years, we've started to make some foothold, and with some of our community partnerships and some of our others, having
And
places.
is the influencers, the education community, and the healthcare communities, are those the two that really you need the strongest partnership with to be able to make this work?
Right, and we've really started and have a pretty large grassroots organization, and we really have started building, and we've always valued community partnerships, but having a place like Thunder Mist or Kodak and having those facilities support is definitely.
And you work with about 1,000 people on
I think we're at
average?
about 2,000 a year now.
Your
Yeah.
website says 1,000.
That was a couple years ago.
Darn that webmaster. So 2,000 a year. Are you building kind of an alumni sphere to be able to kind of get the word out?
Yeah, I think we definitely have our tried and true clients. We have some clients that we've seen. I have my very first client that I started with, I actually still see.
That's great.
Some individuals, not that every client we see we have for life, we don't have all these for lifers, but some, it depends upon what somebody's diagnosis is. The girl I work with, she has developmental disabilities that are not going to go away, and she
Right.
uses music to accomplish all of those non-music goals. We have other people, like in a hospital setting, an acute setting, or even just the neurotypical population that have a hard time with stress management that we might see 1 to 3 times, and then we never see them again. So that's where we're starting to kind
Is
of.
music just severely undervalued for its educational purposes and its therapeutic? Work was cutting things this year because of budget problems, and it saved the budget cutting because everyone rallied around sports. I have no idea if music and art survived those cuts, but sports got everyone motivated to be able to. Is there a lack of appreciation in the community across the board, not just in Rhode Island, but in America, to be able to sort of understand and value that?
I think there's a lack of understanding about the research and the neurology and the changes that happen in your brain, even when you just play a music instrument. Even for individuals who are neurotypical that play an instrument at 7 years old, there are changes in volume in your brain and like really exciting nerdy parts.
Right.
But it's not
And there's a
something we all know.
correlation on that side of the brain, which I have
Yeah.
none of, between math and science and music.
Or even speech. So when
Yeah.
we're working with children who are nonverbal, there's a correlation between speech and singing.
What would you like people to know? What is it most important? What do you need to be able to take the organization to the next level?
I think knowing that we're trained, we're highly qualified. I'm hoping that they'll learn that soon. URI is starting a degree program now,
Oh, that's
so
right.
we've been working with them, and I'm hoping that will help kind of, advance that knowledge base in the state. But knowing that this is a trained healthcare profession, and that we use these specific interventions, we're trained to use these specific music-based interventions for these non-music goals, and I think that's a huge part of the misunderstanding that sometimes comes in. People hear music therapy and they might think I'm singing Kumbaya with a guitar, not that we know all these neuro kind of, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, that's so cool. So knowing that it's a trained field and that it's fairly non-threatening, the risks are fairly low to doing a session with all of the populations that we serve. It's music, it's pretty non-invasive.
Right.
So I think looking at, and when we look at bottom line and funding, there are actually funding options. So out there, where we have some funding options. So I think those are areas, and it's new, so people get a little intimidated when they don't know of a thing. So I think those would be important messages to the
Right.
general population.
You worked with Commerce,
did.
and talk about that experience.
So at Social Enterprise Greenhouse, SEG, I was a part of their Wellness and Accelerator program, and they really helped me take my organization. I was a private practice, those 16 years of
Yeah.
and over the
Got you out of your little
my little chasing
office
tail,
space, right?
And helped us shift into nonprofit and some more of the larger mission that we have now. And a big part of that for us was the loan that we needed to kind of move ourselves and propel ourselves to that next level. As such a small organization, we just don't have the capital or an overhead to allow for the level of expansion that we had been trying to facilitate. So now that we got approved for the loan through SEG and Rhode Island Commerce, that really helped propel us forward so we could, form these stronger community partnerships. We've really been trying to focus on our own growth so we could be attractive to these other organizations in the state through the Department of Health and Rhode Island Arts and Healthcare Network.
Right.
And we never would have been able to have those partnerships if we hadn't been able to expand the way we have. So.
And how are they to work with? Feel free to badmouth them. I always encourage everybody.
It was it was easy. It was wonderful.
I really want somebody to just let
Just
loose.
come in and bash.
They didn't return my phone call for 3 months.
No, not at all.
Gosh.
It was
this
very,
competency.
very
So boring. The medical community as a whole, we have a big partnership with Brown Medical School, and they're on with every couple of weeks with their top docs. How is that integration taking place? Do docs get it? Do the major healthcare organizations? Does Lifespan get it? Does Blue Cross get it? Those types of things.
There are pockets that exist within the medical organizations. You had to write some of them down. Within the medical infrastructure in the state.
She has a cheat sheet. I have no cheat sheets.
Just want to make sure I have everybody. But we have the Department of Health that started to, kind of move forward with the Arts and Healthcare Network.
That's great.
And that's been, I think, really helpful over the past year or so. RI CART, which is, you're familiar with them. So we have these kind of pockets, like Thunder Miss and Hasbro, and then there's others that are a little bit more challenging that don't necessarily know or understand enough about what we do. I think I tend to assume that it's about misinformation or lack of understanding around music therapy as a whole. So that's what we've really been focusing on within our own organization, getting that mission out so we can kind of bust down some of those myths.
Maybe we need to send them a little Metallica to get them in the mood. Nicole, thanks so much for coming on.
So
it was
much.
great having you on. We're going to be over and out until 4 o'clock. Gary Sass, former Director of Administration from the state of Rhode Island, will be back. We'll be talking about recessionary indicators and also taking a look at what's going on with Twin Rivers financial issues based on the impact of Boston's Encore facility that's opened up about 6 weeks ago. We'll be back at 4 o'clock. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.